Hello, everybody. Today is Thursday, December 4th, 2025, and we are back for another episode of Bricks and Beyond, a creator showcase series. For those of you that may be joining for the very first time, Bricks and Beyond is a showcase series that highlights members of the wonderful Lego community. Each of the episodes will provide you a personalized look into the person behind the Instagram account. Tonight's guest is joining me from the area referred to as the district, otherwise known as Washington, D.C. He is what I will call a Lego artist, a rapper, which we will get into, and an amazing person in the Lego community. On Instagram, you will see him as brickdistorted, but I am here to introduce him simply as Nate. There he is in the flesh. How are you?
Doing all right. How are you doing?
I am living the dream. I am cold, but otherwise living the dream. So
yeah, hello winter.
Yes, you and I talked the other night. I got snow. You were supposed to get snow. You didn't get snow, so I'm a little jealous.
Yeah, well, yeah, grass is greener. I wish we got snow.
Are you into any like snowboarding or skiing or anything like that?
Yeah, I've skied pretty much my whole life.
Okay.
So yeah, I love skiing. I just love snow in general.
Okay. Yeah. You want to trade? I'll swap. So background here, because this is something that you kind of shocked me with. So, and we'll dig into it a little bit deeper, but you and I actually have some roots that we shared, unbeknownst to me, and you still have somebody here, close by that, I'll call a native, or not a native, but a Pittsburgher. So we have some things in common there.
Yeah. I grew up about 2 hours from Pittsburgh, not far from Pittsburgh. I ended up moving down to DC later, but my sister actually lives in Pittsburgh right now. She works at Duolingo. She's a very proud Pittsburgher. So, which is pretty cool.
We're gonna get into her because I'm gonna, I know this is your night, your spotlight, but we're gonna give her just a little bit of a little ounce of publicity, I guess, for anybody here in the Pittsburgh area. So family connections, figured we toss that out. We'll get to her shortly. So first and foremost, how's the week going? Anything exciting going on in your life or in the area by you?
No, I mean we're in that spot between Thanksgiving and Christmas to where you're trying to get some things done, but everyone kind of knows that it's all going to start tailing off a little bit as people hit holidays. So just trying to get the Christmas and enjoy a little bit of time off with the family.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Now, do you guys have any special traditions or plans that are usually going on?
Not especially. I think I'll probably end up going to see my sister. She has back in my hometown in central Pennsylvania for a bit. But no, I like to. I try not to over plan and just kind of go with the flow a little bit, but make myself available. And something's always going on and kind of develops. So
yeah. No, I hear you. I feel like making plans actually, I don't know, it's like a double-edged sword. When you don't make plans, that's when it seems like the random stuff pops up that you don't always want to do. And then sometimes if you make too many plans, then you just kind of wear yourself out and you don't get to relax over the holidays. So
yep, it's true. I know enough planners in my life that I never run out of things to do.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's nice to have time off just to relax. I think usually I say I'm going to relax and I end up finding stuff to do anyways. So it usually never works out that way anyways. But any plans for the weekend?
Probably spend some time visiting my girlfriend. She has some family in town, and work on getting a commission shipped off that I just completed. So that's nice. That's my extent of my plan for this weekend at least.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, so we're gonna since you mentioned having your girlfriend's folks in town, we're gonna skip ahead to something that I wanted to ask because I haven't been to the DC area too often, but I always like to know like people who actually live there. Do you have any like inside places that you like to go, or like if people come into town that are like must see? And I'm not talking about the touristy areas. Like I want the stuff that the tourists don't know about.
Well, what I'll say is I actually don't know that many spots like that because DC has so much that people want to see that if people ever come and visit, like there's never enough time to see everything because there's so much going on in the mall. So I love the National Gallery of Art, especially the modern art exhibit there. I go there sometimes. I try to get people to go with me. They don't always go, but it's not a secret, but it's definitely my favorite place to go. But I mean, you know, there's so many Smithsonian's, so much of the Capitol that like it ends up eating most of the time up. So unfortunately, I don't have any good secret spot outside. I mean, there's the Exorcist stairs in Georgetown, which this famous stairwell from the Exorcist movie that a big part of it, like that stairwell is in Georgetown, which is right outside DC. So that's like kind of a fun place to go, but I think it's not very secret.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's just in a movie. So that's so you know, one of the neatest things that I know about DC, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is correct. All their museums are free to get into, correct?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably some like private museums, smaller ones somewhere that aren't free, but like everything on the mall, all of it, it's all free. It's 9 to 5. I think it's like almost every day of the year. It's great.
That's crazy to me. I don't, because like up here in Pittsburgh, you know, you're paying for everything. So I understand DC's a bigger area and probably a bigger flow through of traffic, but I always was curious how that works. Because you would think like the entrance would be a good way to bring in income, but I guess they have other ways.
Yeah, I mean they're all run by the government, and so it's basically like a public service, like almost like a park. There's no mission to go in, so it makes it nice so you can just kind of roam in and out, go when you want. Sometimes like I think you might need to like reserve a time slot if they're like overcrowded, but again it's free. It's just kind of picking it and go in. So
isn't was that where I don't know if it was filmed there? Was that Night of the Museum? Was that where those were filmed at?
It's possible. I'm not 100%.
I can't remember,
sure, but I think I remember it being a Smithsonian.
Yeah, I think the second one maybe, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I just know it was in a museum. I love those movies because that was one of those kind of like Toy Story concepts where it's like you always wonder what happens when you leave the room. You see all that stuff, and as a kid, it's always like, I wonder if my toys come to life. And then whoever decided to carry that over into the museum aspect, brilliant, in my opinion, because I don't know, it's interesting to think about, So
I mean, I still wonder what happens inside the fridge when you shut the door.
That's a good one. That is a good one. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, and not to be this is completely off topic, but to see how like food transforms too. Like you can see a food one way, and then the next day you open it and it looks different. That blows my mind. So
yeah.
Anyways, all right. So we have a lot of Lego stuff to talk about. We'll get into that. But before we do that, I want people to get the opportunity to get to know you more as a person. So as I stated in the introduction, so you are in DC currently, and you did mention that you had lived in Pittsburgh, or the Pittsburgh area, about 2 hours out. So were you born in Pennsylvania, or where were you born?
Yeah, so I was born. It's actually a little town called Hollidaysburg, which is basically, it's like right next to Altoona. Altoona is a little bit bigger, so people in Pennsylvania generally know where Altoona is, but I don't know outside of that. But yeah, that's where I was born, raised, grew up, with the high school, graduated. That was all in central Pennsylvania, kind of close to State College. Definitely like Pittsburgh, in the realm of like Philadelphia sports and Pittsburgh sports, is definitely firmly in Pittsburgh sports territory. So a lot of Penguins, Steeler fans there.
I was gonna say you would be more towards the Pittsburgh side, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very clearly.
Okay.
Like you know, when you're there, it's definitely a Pittsburgh influence.
Yeah, it's funny going through the state of Pennsylvania. You can see as you drive how it transitions. You see the black and gold, and then you slowly get into the, I guess, green and silver, green and white for the Eagles, I guess, whatever colors you want to. Yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan, so I don't really care what colors the Eagles are.
Yeah, and it's a wide state too. That's a long drive too. Pittsburgh, it's like a long. You don't realize how wide Pennsylvania is. It's pretty big.
It is. Yeah. I think to get from Pittsburgh out to Philly, I think you're about 4.5 hours, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I thought it might
So
be more than that. So yeah, that's
I
pretty long.
guess depends how fast you drive too. So
Yes. Very true.
All right. So so you grew up in the Pennsylvania area. Now, where did you go from there then?
So I wanted to get out of my hometown for college. So I ended up going to University of Maryland, which is right outside of DC. And I went there for 4 years, and I got degrees in math and computer science, and went to work for Microsoft for 6 years. So that took me out to Redmond, Washington, out Seattle, and so
interesting.
I was there for about 6 or 7 years working out there. Which
I would not have. I would say, looking at you, I would not have guessed that you would be so well traveled. You look really young to be doing like all of that. 6 years here, 6 years there. That's some major stuff too. Because working for Microsoft, I'm sure that was not your average job.
No, it was very intense and taught me some valuable things about working too hard for a company that doesn't. Yeah, it's just worth it.
That's fair. Yeah,
I burned myself out pretty hard working at a company like that. But Seattle is amazing. And so I love the people and the atmosphere. The weather got to me eventually because it's gray for so long and so repetitive weather-wise, but like it's like a really cool place, and it was really nice to kind of get that kind of change of scenery.
Yeah. I was gonna say, wouldn't you have been used to the gray, or were you too far out from Pittsburgh not to have that? Because we're gray like every day.
Well, you don't know what gray every day actually is until you live in the Pacific Northwest.
That's fair.
It really is gray every day because
that's fair.
On the East Coast, I mean, you can get runs of gray, but like there'll be a sunny day here and there, or it'll be warmer than you're expecting, and then it'll be colder, and then the sun's out, and then it's gone for a few days or whatever. So like it's just a variety. Like when you live in Seattle, you basically don't need to look at the weather. Like what it is. And so it's a bit different.
I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, Pittsburgh is second on the list behind Seattle in cloudiest days. I could be wrong, but I'm 90% sure I've seen that as a fact, I guess we'll say. But yeah, I mean, it's literally, I get what you're saying. Like, cause even when it's gray here, it's not rainy all the time. Whereas I hear that a lot about the Pacific Northwest. It is gray and gloomy pretty much.
And always kind of misting. Like it never really rains very hard, but it's always wet. So you don't know where all the ground's wet because like, I don't think it rains.
Yeah.
Why is that? And so there's like always just like a kind of a mist around. And it's the thing is that I think in Seattle is that you can tell a tourist because they have an umbrella. Seattle,
that's fair.
Even though there rains all the time, then no Seattleites have umbrellas. And so if you're carrying an umbrella, it's a giveaway that you're.
That's fair. So if I go to Seattle, don't take an umbrella. That way, I don't give myself away.
Right, because everyone thinks you need one and brings one, and so it's a giveaway. That's kind of funny.
Now, what is that? Is that called Is that the Space Needle? Is that what that's called?
Yep, Space Needle is right in the middle, like downtown Seattle. Yeah.
All right. Have you been in there?
Yes. Yeah, it's got a big restaurant on top, a very expensive restaurant. So, not something I went to a bunch of times, but I've been there. I ate there once, and the restaurant rotates. So,
wow.
You're up on top, and it kind of spins the whole time while you're eating.
Okay.
Very, very slowly, but it's nice because you get the whole view of the whole city, like while you're eating.
That's really neat. Now, is it the whole saucer that's the restaurant, or is there stuff in addition to the restaurant up there?
As far as I mean, there might be like a gift shop or something, but I think it's like, cause it's a pretty decent sized restaurant. So I think it's most of it, at least I don't think there's much public outside of like, there might be an outer ring that you can kind of go and look out.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But the restaurant I think actually is kind of it like right around, like in the middle of the ring. So,
that's interesting to me. Stuff like that really, I would say it kind of blows my mind how you can have like a fully functional restaurant like that high up in the air, like everything just kind of flow, like bathrooms obviously up there as well. It's really interesting how they can do stuff like that.
Yeah, and it is one of the like priciest places to eat in Seattle too. It's like really, really nice food. So it's which is also, I don't know. It's like they really made it be a nice experience. So that's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, probably have to help pay for the insurance costs to keep something like that.
Exactly. It's all marked up.
Yeah. Okay. So then from Washington or Seattle, then you came back to the DC area.
Yep. I moved back to DC area. It's actually been like 12 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. What I forgot to put out earlier. Yeah. Looking young has just been a thing that's kind of worked. For a while, I hated looking young, but now, especially over the last like 10 years, it's like I'm just lucky. I get it a lot though. People, I still can get carded for things, and I'm way past 21. So it's been nice, and yeah, it's usually people are usually surprised that like I've been doing and working for as long as I have. So
yeah,
but
well, I get that.
Yeah, so and I can't really grow any facial hair, which I think helps some. Like it's my facial hair is very strange and it grows out in things, so it just kind of.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Trust me, if you see me without this, you don't. That's next level. Like I will be carded because I look like a baby. So yeah, I get you. So
yeah. But I moved back to DC. I've been working here and living here. Like 12 years, like I said. So.
Okay. So I have to ask because you've given me nothing about Chicago, but I see the hat. So what's the story with the hat? Is there a story behind the hat?
Yeah. So growing up, my dad was not really into sports.
Okay.
But like in Central, I don't know. It's like a very heavy. There's a lot of sports opinions. So growing up, like I didn't have an influence to push me to like all the Pittsburgh sports. Okay. And so I kind of was just choosing my favorite teams as I went. And the first baseball game I ever watched was the '93 ALCS. Okay. And Frank Thomas, like he was batting, and like he just looked awesome. And like I don't know, I was like amazed because he looked like so much bigger than everybody, and like he was just gonna like destroy the baseball. And I thought he was really cool. And then. So that planted the seed, and then a little bit later, I remember I got a baseball card that was Robin Ventura.
Oh yeah, okay.
Who played for the White Sox, and I was in love with the Ace Ventura movie.
Okay.
And I was like, and so these two events made me like, man, this White Sox team is really cool. So then when I started getting into baseball, that was just my team.
Okay.
And so, and then since I wasn't a fan of like the Pirates, I just like really dug in with the White Sox, even though they were just as bad as Pirates. So unfortunately, as I got more into the color and things like that, there's two teams that in Major League Baseball that they just go crazy with hat colors. It's the Yankees and the White Sox. Okay. And so I was able to just get endless variety of colors of White Sox hats, and love my personality. So I have a ton of White Sox hats. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. See, I'd rather like. I get growing up in an area and having a team based off of that, but I think it's more fun if you have a story. Like everybody always asks me why I'm a Cowboys fan. My dad grew up in Milwaukee, so he was a Packers fan. My mom technically was Philly, but Steelers fan. First football game I really watched was in '95. Dallas beat Green Bay to go to the Super Bowl, and then they played the Steelers and they beat the Steelers. Yep. So I was like, oh, this team beats my parents' teams. Well, they must be something good. And then they stunk ever since, haven't done anything. So the stories are fun. That's what I enjoy hearing people's stories, about sports teams and stuff like that. So
yeah, I remember those games too.
Yeah, they were. I still get some flack around that about that Super Bowl, about how everybody around here thinks it was fixed. But I say, well, you know what? Hey, what can you do about it?
Yep, Neil O'Donnell.
Neil O'Donnell.
I remember.
I tell you, those Cowboy white jerseys, they sure did look like Steeler black jerseys.
That's funny.
All right. So, any siblings? Oh, yes. Yes, we talked about this, right? So the one sister. Okay. So she is younger sister?
Yes, younger sister.
All right. So what is the age gap between the two of you?
Just 2 years. She's 2 years younger.
All right. So growing up, did you have big brother mentality, or did you have, who is this girl that's bothering me all the time?
So where I grew up, we kind of were in the woods.
Okay.
So we didn't have neighbors to hang out with. So it was me and my sister. Like, yeah, we would just do everything together and hang out. Nice. But I was kind of big brother, and I think a funny thing how it shaped our personalities. Like, if we played a board game or anything together, I'd never let her win ever. I won every game we'd ever played until she stopped playing games with me when we were much older. But so like we just spent a lot of time together because we were only people we could hang out with. But yeah, I was definitely like the I don't know, I kind of like chose what we're gonna do, and she's like a great sidekick in that way.
Yeah.
She's very much not a sidekick anymore. But I think that maybe that influenced her to kind of to take
branch
charge
after
dealing with me from our childhood.
Now, has she taken charge in the adult years to challenge you to any board games again? Have you guys rekindled that at all, or?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Good.
She's become very cutthroat, and she'll be very loosey goosey with rules, except when it comes to me.
That's okay.
So, it's still there, and so I mean, and she does win now too. Like, so she doesn't want me to win everything. So.
Well, you've gotten wiser now, so now you let her win, right? That's how.
Yeah, definitely playing the long game so that I can stay at her cabin more.
Yeah, that's funny. So you guys got along pretty well. I mean, the usual brother sister stuff. Yeah. Other than that, so other than board games, what other interests or hobbies did you guys either? What did you enjoy yourself, or what did you guys share together?
I mean, it was kind of we would play video games together, or if we're drawing or exploring the woods, and I don't know, up until I think like I got my license and I could kind of go everywhere. We would spend a lot of time just doing things together at home, or at least talk on a bike and had a way to get out of the woods and to people. But I don't know, it was just kind of a bit of everything. She was definitely more creative than I was when we were younger. So she took art classes, did a lot of painting. She didn't make like crafts, which was always really cool and impressive. And I felt like something I would never really be able to do.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of funny. So as I've gotten more into like Lego and art and drawing and things like that, she's been a great, great for feedback and giving me some direction. And I don't know, it's been cool to talk to her about that stuff now. But
yeah,
I didn't get it when I was younger.
Yeah. Now, so now she is an interior designer, correct?
She is a Instagram interior designer.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
It's like her side thing.
Yeah.
She's got a pretty decent following, and she gets to promote a lot of products.
Okay.
For interior design, but she's got a really strong taste and a really cool aesthetic for photography and
nice.
What she does with her house. So yeah.
Yeah. So like I said the other day, I said she's like the Lan of interior design.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's definitely it's a side, but she's very passionate about it. It's very cool. It's definitely a side gig.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, does she like to critique any way that you have things designed, either like in we'll say your home fashion, or in like the Lego art that you do? Does she like to critique you at all in any of those aspects?
So with Lego, she'll, like, if I need input on something, like I'm trying to decide between things, she'll have an opinion, which is helpful.
Yeah.
But she doesn't really critique that. She does have strong opinions about the furniture I have or the things I have. And like when I needed to get new furniture for my living room, I just had her design the whole thing, and she just she gave me a layout. She told me what furniture to buy, who to get it from, and then I just did it, and it looked great, and it's the nicest room in the house, and everyone compliments it.
Oh man,
default, like if I need to make an interior design decision, I just ask her to tell me what to do, and it's great because she always has an opinion.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I can see that going one of two ways here, because obviously it's great having, an amazing sister, one that does, that kind of stuff. But does it maybe kind of eat at you a little bit that the nicest house or the nicest room in your house had nothing to do with you?
No, I think I'm kind of proud of it.
Yeah.
I just know that if I would have made the decisions about it, they wouldn't have been as good.
Yeah, that's fair.
By default, I like for things that I don't really care a ton about the aesthetic, I just default into like what's the most practical thing, and
yeah, okay.
Then and if it goes practical, then no one's gonna want to look at it. So
that's
I think I'm just happy that people are like, wow, what a nice, this room looks really nice, and I'm like, yeah. You wouldn't say that if I had if I had designed it. I'll stick to Lego and drawing and music and things
fair.
like that. Furniture, I just like I struggle to form opinions about it too much.
So just out of curiosity, because this is what I told you, my mind starts thinking. So did you remember when Lego ran those I don't know what you want to call them, ads or I don't know what you call them on Instagram I think it was last year, or maybe it was earlier this year, where they were decorating like townhomes or houses. I can't remember what the point of it was. But they were going into like these brownstones and they were decorating with like bright colors and all this kind of stuff. And so my mind was going like, could you ever see the two of you doing some sort of design with Lego and interior design?
I could. I think if her and I, so she's big into earth tones, dark greens, browns, which is basically all the things that I never use. And so I think if we ever collaborated on anything like that, it would just be such an interesting combination for the color side of things. I think we might have similar aesthetic, like how things would look, but I think the color would be a battle.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, I like to think of these things because I think it'd be really neat to like actually see something like that come to life. Now, I don't know how or what you would do with it, but just the idea itself sounds like an interesting topic. So if you guys remember this, don't forget to let me know if you ever do anything with it. So
yeah, we did. I did when I did interview for Lego Masters once. She interviewed with me as a teammate.
Okay.
So it almost happened.
But then, that's a bummer. That would have been cool.
Yeah, it would have been, and then she would have had to learn how to do Lego, which also would have been fun.
You know, I shouldn't say most of the time. There are sometimes where there is just one actual builder, and that person just tells the other person what to do. You have heard those, like, I can't remember who it was, but it's like they're the design and they just literally tell the other person what to do. So, it could have worked out that way, or she could have had her own input, and who knows, she could have taken off, maybe she would have been.
When you have that creative spirit, I think if you have like that creative spirit of how to make things, like if you just said a little bit of get used to how Lego works, and then it's like having the idea, like you can figure out how to execute. It's just like the ideas and like where that comes from. And so she would definitely have those. So I worry she might be better than I am at it. She just needed a reason to like get into Lego, So
I'm thinking here what would be kind of cool if she, instead of using like a computer design program, if she gave you a room layout and you build it out of Lego, kind of like in a 3D model, like you could present a 3D model of something like that would be kind of cool too, instead of using a computer program. I know it's not going to look exactly the same because the shapes, aren't as accurate as a design program, but even something like that would be kind of cool, just to have her design something and then you build it to replicate what it looks like.
Yeah, that's I don't know. It's an interesting idea. Like, I think because she actually does, when she designed my living room, she gave me like a 3D render of like using software. I didn't even think about trying to actually build it with Lego first. So that's pretty cool.
Hey, look, I'm giving you Christmas gift ideas. You can make your living room out of Lego and gift it to
her. This is great. If she hasn't watching, I think this will bring up some interesting things to talk about.
See, that's what I aim for. That's what I strive to expand the mind. So there we go.
Thank you. Happy. I love it. Sure. I really appreciate it. This is
great. So something else here that kind of blew my mind, because I had seen it on your Instagram page before, but I never clicked on it because I don't know why. I'm just gonna say I don't know why. But when we talked the other night, you told me that you are into rap music and you actually have music on Apple Music, Spotify, and you're actually working on a new album. I think you said. Okay,
yep.
so I need the whole story here. So when did the music talent, when did that first get discovered? And then just give me the whole story of how everything's played out.
Yeah, so I think since I was very young, I was good at rhyming, and growing up in central Pennsylvania, there wasn't a lot of hip hop influence, so poetry was my thing.
Okay.
And it was interesting. I learned over time that something about making things rhyme, like you could tell someone that you care about them and writing it down. But if you write like a couple lines that rhyme, it just hits differently. There's something about it. And so for a while, it became my cheat code of like, oh, I forgot about Mother's Day, or I forgot about a holiday when I was younger. And like, well, let me just write a couple poems, and then people just love it.
Okay, yeah.
And but as I got older, and then I started getting into it, I was trying to when I was listening to hip hop, it felt so close to poetry to me that it felt approachable. So I got really into hip hop. But and then when I tried to do it, all I did was just try to sound like Method Man or sound like Eminem and just like emulate them, and it just sounded terrible and it was embarrassing. And so I was like, well, I just can't rap, and I just wrote it off. But it was a little bit later in life when I started. I think definitely whenever I started, like especially when I got into Lego, what helped. But I kept at it, and I started trying to make beats and then just write stuff and stop trying to sound like anybody else and just like do it came up in my head. And that's where I started to find my voice. And then whenever I met someone else who was like a producer who was like kind of new and learning to produce and learning to make, we were both kind of early on. We met at the right time and collaborated, and he would make better and better music, and then I got better and better at rapping, and then like that collaboration got us to like build our confidence up. Nice. And then I started meeting some other rappers and collaborating, and then tried to put together some albums and got some good feedback from people. So I don't necessarily know where all it'll lead, but it's come in handy sometimes, especially someone commissioned me to write them a song for their Lego show, so that I rapped that and said that to him, and he loved it. And so it's just kind of it's been an interesting, it's like another forum to kind of think through things and I know explore some emotions in a more like I don't know, it's because when you're writing, it's like more direct, I guess, because you're speaking about things, whereas with Lego or drawing, it's kind of, there's like a loose connection to like, I mean, it's there, but so it depends on like it's helped me work through some emotions and some like struggles, but also the fact that like I'm generally pretty humble, and I'm not really big into like boasting about things, and I like to be approachable and meeting people and communicate, and but sometimes when I rap, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of a safe place to just kind of brag about yourself sometimes. Hold your ego, and you can talk about how cool you are in a space that like where it's not, I don't know, it's like it's okay. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're just like a big arrogant jerk, but it's fun, so it's like a space where I can do some things emotionally. So that, I don't know, that's led to that. So I'm about to have my fifth main album will be coming out. That's right now.
Okay, so now all of your music, it's all on Apple and Spotify?
Yes. Yep. Okay, Apple's Spotify. I mean, I think my very first album might just be on SoundCloud, but it's like I just pretend that it doesn't exist because it's really embarrassing when I was just trying to figure things out. But it was really good. Yeah. But like everything else is out there. So yeah. Okay. Like I did a couple of collaborative albums too. So
okay. So then if people are looking to listen to that, how do they find you on those platforms?
Resonate. I have my business card thing.
Okay. That is on your Instagram as well, correct?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
It's the word resonate without the O. So it's resonate.
Yep. Okay. Yep. All right. Yeah, I see that. So anybody rewatching or re-listening, it's RESNATE on Spotify, and that's the same on Apple Music.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So that's on where YouTube you can find
Amazon Music, all that stuff. It's everywhere.
Okay. Awesome. Now, so I'm just curious. So how does so what you do now, because I know it's a different world now, but when we were growing up, it was all about, well, we're going to go back to cassettes, but cassettes to CDs. and now they're doing the vinyls again, which is very interesting. What is like, is there an option for that for you? Like, is that something that is you have the ability to do, or is just doing it the way like with Apple and Spotify? Is that like the best way to do things, or is the only way you can do things?
So the like ultimately making music is going to be digital.
Yeah. Okay.
And so you're going to record. I don't think anybody would actually be recording directly on tape, or at least not. It would be really unusual.
Yeah.
Like whenever any music you make is going to be digital, it's going to be saved on a laptop, a shade, whatever. And then how you distribute it is up to you. And so you can get vinyls printed of your music.
Okay.
You can upload it to a place. I mean, you could get cassettes. You could burn CDs. Like you could do like those are all like the medium, and vinyl has its own like interesting appeal that's come back some. So and so like some people could choose to make a song or an album and then only distribute it on vinyl if they want it, and then never release it on any digital platform. But ultimately, I really do it 99% of the time. That's going to be some MP3 or WAV digital file that was then, printed onto vinyl.
Can you just imagine, like, let's just say you were doing this, oh gosh, what are we in 2025? 30 years ago. Can you imagine seeing yourself on Napster or Livewire or
It's funny. I used to go, it's the most ridiculous thing. I used to go on those.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'd have chat rooms and you could go, and I would actually try to like write raps.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Which in retrospect it's just absurd. You're basically just writing lyrics and words because like it's so much about the music. It's just like reading what someone's rap. It doesn't make any sense. Like you don't get what's going on. So, but I would do that because that would be me trying to. So I was definitely on there. I would have been. I just could never imagine hearing my own voice and my own music being there. That would have been.
Oh yeah.
It would have blown my mind. So
that's what I'm saying. I'm sure like now even that has to blow your mind to be able to go on a platform like Apple Music and there you are.
It is. It like I had a song that like I don't have like a big following or it's not like I'm making money off a lot of money of music or anything. But like the one day I had in like I think it was Finland. Just one of my songs just got really popular and it's got like like 1,000 streams in like an hour or something.
Oh wow.
And then I picked up all these followers and it's like, whoa, what's going on in Finland? And so like it's just crazy, it's surreal whenever something like that happens, and then people start liking a song and then checking out other music, and so that's really cool. It is crazy, as I've learned that especially when you're making music. I don't know how. I guess some people probably don't deal with this, but there's just like the dread of hearing your own voice that just takes so long to get over, and it's still not where I don't like my voice, but I've learned to deal with it basically. And so
that's
I think that's still, to me, that's still crazy that I can listen to a song that I made and just not like immediately cringed at my own voice and just like and enjoy it. That took a long time to get over. I don't know how much people deal with that, but I definitely dealt with that.
That's fun. It's interesting you say that because I do all my stuff live because I don't like seeing myself recorded. So yeah, I do a reel like every now and then, but most of my stuff is always live. And somebody said something to me not too long ago about rewatching something. And I said, I never have. I refuse to see myself on a recording because I don't want to know what I look like. I feel like I'm okay live. I don't want to see what I look like on a recording. So I let it be. So
it's brutal. And like that's to make music, like that was one of the things I just had to learn to get over. But I don't think I wasn't like, oh, I love my voice. It was just like lowering degrees of pain hearing my own voice to the point where it's like, okay, I can deal with it enough to make music now. I don't think I'll ever love it, but but I can deal with it basically.
All right. So last music question for you here. Has there been or will there ever be a music video?
There is a music video.
Oh, okay.
And it's about my song that I made called Bricks, and it features a bunch of Lego stuff in it.
Oh, nice. Okay. Is that on YouTube?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's only one. only made video. So it's not like I have a ton. But there was one, and that was like, it was because I was collaborating. We had enough momentum that we were like, why don't we do a video? And no one said no. And then we found someone to make it, and then we made it. And I don't know when there'll be another video, if ever. But one does exist, and it's great because it's a song called Bricks, which was a lot of fun because if you're like rapping, there are always bricks can mean so many different things.
Yeah.
But for me, it was fun to like do a lot of Lego references, or like for that to be part of it. But if it fits well for like a hip hop vibe.
Okay. Now, is it Brick Distorted over on YouTube as well?
I have a Brick Distorted YouTube channel for my Lego stuff. You also have Resonate channel on YouTube also, and that's where the music video would be.
All right. So anybody watching now, rewatching, re-listening, go to Resonate on YouTube, watch that video and give it a like. If you want to get this trending. I want to see this trending tomorrow morning when I wake up.
I know. That would be really great.
It would be, yeah, that would be for sure. So,
but that's like visual proof that it is me that's rapping. That I do it. So,
okay, all right. So I look forward to as soon as we get off here. I'm not gonna try pulling it up now. I'm not gonna put you through that. I'll just leave it up to everybody else to go and check it out. So
the video is cool. It's got a lot of Lego in it. It's fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. So it's just
that's what matters. Yeah. At the end of the day, who cares what anybody thinks? You had fun. That's really what matters. So
yep.
All right. So let's get into your personal journey with Lego. And we're gonna rewind back to being a kid. Did you have any either bulk Lego or Lego sets when you were little?
So I had one Lego. It was a Technic set. It was a hovercraft / helicopter. I forget how old I was when I got it. I might have been like 7 or 8. And that one set, I'd build it as the hovercraft and then take it apart and build it as the helicopter and then take it apart and build it as the hovercraft. I went back and forth, I don't know, 30 times until I lost enough of the pieces to where you couldn't build either. But then that was like it. That was the only Lego that I ever had. And so Lego ended up not really being much of a part of growing up for me.
Sure.
I mean, I knew lots of people that had them, but it was just, I never really had them. And they're pretty expensive.
Well,
so
that's yeah.
So it was like, and because it was just one set, it wasn't a bulk. Like it wasn't like I wasn't making a whole bunch of things with it. It was just that. But I did like following the instructions. So it wasn't, and then I don't think I really touched Lego again until like my late 20s, early 30s. And when I got into the Lego architecture series.
All right. And then, so what was the set that brought you back into things?
It was Falling Water. It was the Lego architecture Falling Water set. My sister had gotten married at Falling Water. It's a really cool building. They had, and I saw that Lego architecture set that they were selling there. So I made sure to get that. And as soon as I put it together, like it was a blast. Like I enjoyed it, and it was so cool because I don't know, I just liked how sleek it looked and that it was made out of Lego and someone managed to pull it off. So then I started ordering more of the sets in the architecture line. And then that quickly became into like a collecting, trying to get all of them.
Yep.
And that's how, and then I was in. So
completionist, would you say?
So not so much anymore. With that, yes. Because I just like the architecture line so much.
Sure. Okay. Now, so that Falling Water set, did you say you picked that up at the time of around the time of your sister's wedding then?
Yeah. Like, right around then. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that got you back in, you went to the architecture line. So where did you go from there? Did you stay with set building, or when did you start kind of dabbling into the, I guess we'll call it the mock world?
Yeah. So, what happened was that I got through almost the entire architecture line, and the only sets left were ones that were just like, old retired sets that were immensely expensive.
Yeah.
And I just could not justify paying for those. So what I did is I found the instructions, and then I tried to build those with the parts that I had, but I didn't have them in the right colors. So I basically made two of the sets, but in completely like the colors were just not the right ones. But I could still build the set because I knew I could get the pieces, just not the right color. And at the end, I thought I had this like really horrible looking Marina Bay Sands. And I thought it was so funny that like I had made this thing that looked ridiculous that I sent a picture to a couple of my friends, and instead of them like laughing, they were like, "Man, that looks really cool."
Okay.
And I was like, are you joking? But then like that reaction that I got made me think, well, maybe I should I'll go try to do some more of them. So then I started going rebuilding the sets. And my favorite part about the Lego sets was just following the instructions. It was like a form of meditation for me. So this gave me a chance to rebuild the sets without having to take them apart. But then, but then I had a little bit of like space to kind of make them how I wanted to.
Sure.
And then that's where I started to learn about like contrast and like how to do certain patterns and how to work around constraints. And then eventually my brother-in-law offered to photograph some of my sets because he thought that they looked really cool. So I brought him up to Pittsburgh. He took some photos. I made an Instagram account. I put his photos on there. And then I just started to like interact with people. And then at one point, not so long after I got it, Lego ended up like posting some of my builds, and then everything just changed quickly into just that wave of confidence got me to lean more into kind of trying to do. So I ended up like we're doing almost all the architecture line, recoloring it and experimenting with different things, and then that branched out into other things, and that's kind of how I got to where I am now.
Okay. All right. So before we get into the rebuilding, do you find yourself still buying just sets to build them, like things you like, or are you like when you see a set, do you automatically see a way to remake it? Or are you ever just like, okay, looking at a set and be like, okay, I like this, I'm not going to do anything with it?
So I think up until this year, I was still buying sets that I liked just because I thought they were really cool.
Sure.
I think and it'd be a mix. There'd be sets that I just really I wanted to put together and have, and then there'd be sets that I was like that. I would see it and I'd immediately think that could be cool to redo.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what happened with a lot of the Star Wars helmets, was that I'd see them and I would just be drawn to be like, man, I like, this all black Darth Vader is like, man, you could do so many things with that because it's just black.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'll just see a set and it'd be like, and I'll immediately like, yeah, I want to get that and experiment with it. And the Lego art sets are very much, the Lego art sets are kind of both. I really love the sets and I see a lot of things you can do with them. So,
sure.
But now more recently, I mostly have been getting sets that I think I want to redo, but I don't always do that. Like sometimes when I get it and I put it together, I realize that like I don't have like the things I want to do aren't going to work or whatever. But that's generally how I've been buying sets recently.
Okay. All right. So I do have your Instagram page up, so we can go through that. But do you have anything? Obviously, you have a vast wall behind you. I see lots of different colors. Anything in particular that you want to share?
Well, I mean, there's always I think what's like one of my more famous.
I'm going to spotlight you here too, by the way.
Huh?
I'm going to spotlight you there.
Okay. My Starry Night.
That is incredible.
I think a lot of people have seen this.
That is absolutely incredible.
Might be the more familiar thing for people to see. This was one of my fastest builds, which was crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, this has been an attention grabber, and I think a lot of people know me for this specific build.
So take me through this here real quick. So how do you look at that set just as how it comes, and how does your mind work to make it look how it does now?
So I think it starts. The one thing is like it starts with an idea and I don't have the whole thing in mind. I'm gonna put it down right now. Pick back up. And so like for Starry Night, the sky, all of the whole. I started with the sky. There's a wall for the sky that was just 4 blues, and like on the color wheel, what the color inverse of blue is orange. And so I was like, well, what if I just try to replace blue with orange? Like how weird would an orange sky look? Sure. I don't know what it would look like, so I just tried to build it. And then through making the sky, and just basically it's like every time there's a blue piece, put an orange one, and every time there's a dark blue, put a red one, and every time there's a whatever, like, and so I would have the color map in my head, and I just followed the instructions and build it. And then what often happens is, like, as I'm putting it together, one, I'll figure out if I like it and get some momentum. And then as I'm doing it, I start thinking of other color contrasts. And then, like, as I was doing that, another thing that popped in my head is like, well, the tree, since the tree is like I always think it's like one of the most prominent things of Starry Night. Like, well, what if that was blue instead? Because then it would be a contrast. Sky. So then it's like, all right, well, then once I got done that, it's like, well, let's make it blue, but solid blue look kind of weird. So then let's try to see if I can have enough blue varieties to make it so there's no two of the same blues touching each other, and it's like a scattered pattern.
Interesting. Okay.
So, like, that's how you end up with a tree that looks.
That's amazing.
Great. And really, my goal with the tree is don't make any pieces that are touching should not be the same blue.
Okay. Yeah.
And make so it's like a big variety, and you can help, like, get that kind of I don't know how to describe it, but you can see how, like, it contrasts really well with the background, and then it just becomes amazing. A challenge of just trying to get the rest filled in so that it sticks out, but and doesn't get blended in. And then the frame ended up being, I didn't really know what to do with the frame, so I just like the only other color I had in like some of these pieces was blue. So I just alternated it, and then it ended up looking really cool and giving a really cool accent to this.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. I mean, like I said, my mind works, but not like that. But that's a really interesting thought process to do the contrasting colors. It's I would have never thought about that. And it really does. It's crazy how you can have a Lego designer design the set in one scale, and then you take it and you essentially flip it to be the exact opposite. And so do you ever do you change the pieces, like the type of piece, or is it the exact same piece but in that different color?
So but I always aim to have it the same piece in the same color, and for a long time I stuck really strictly to that. Not mostly because I needed a constraint. Constraint brings creativity, and so by forcing myself to follow that, like I would choose colors and pieces and places that I wouldn't otherwise. So I'd stick to that a long time. Eventually, once I got I did that for quite a long time. More recently, now that I have a better feel for like what I kind of want to do and what I think will look good, I give myself a little bit of leeway where I get like a very similar, like if it only comes in like two colors, I like the piece that I need to replace. I give myself the leeway to make it a little bit different. But it's still like, it'll be roughly in the same spirit. And I'm doing a commission of Starry Night, and I guess there's this like an example of this, like, this is going to seem like a minor thing for everybody else, but for me, this little steeple.
Okay.
It did not come in any like I made some of the buildings kind of like fire colored. And it didn't come in that. So I allowed myself, I had an orange, like a cattle horn, I think, or tail. That was like a little curvy thing. So I replaced that. So, like, that's the one thing that's off, is that steeple is a little curvy piece instead of the steeple. Right. That's an example.
I mean, then there's not much you can really do with that. I mean, you can't, I don't think you want to be painting pieces. So you got to do the next best option.
Yeah. And so like that's so I'll do that some, but I find the constraint is helpful to like force creativity and force me to do things that I wouldn't otherwise, which I found has been the key to like keeping it fresh and keeping it interesting is find things that force you to do something you wouldn't otherwise. Like, when I get locked in, like, oh, I want this to be one thing, and then it can't be, I embrace the fact that, well, I can't do what I wanted to do. So let's find something else that'll work. You know what I mean?
So I see, is that a building to the side of you?
This right here?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the Empire State Building.
Yeah, there it is. Yep. Okay. Yep. Hold on, I gotta see this. Look at that. Holy cow. Is that all those? Is that the grill pieces?
Yes.
I didn't know that came in all those colors.
So I didn't either. And so I had the idea, and it's funny that this set sat with a green, like a big gaping hole where these lime pieces are for months, because it took me forever to track down like lime grills. Now I think there was a set that came out with a lot of them, so it's not a problem anymore. But at the time when I made this, I had to get them. I had to find some seller in Germany, and it took like 2+ months to get them. So
lovely. Okay.
Which is crazy. But yeah, this one, but this is one set that I learned that if I come in with very specific ideas of what I want to do, it's going to be expensive.
I see. Okay.
So this was the last set where I had a very specific idea of mine and what I wanted to do before I built it.
Okay.
And now I kind of feel my way through it more. I mean, I'm really happy with how it turned out, but it made it very painful because I really wanted this spiral rainbow.
That's so nice. Yeah, I really like that a lot.
Thank you. But yeah, this one was one of the more expensive ones I've ever made for a few the pieces it was. So that it was a good learning experience for me. It's like that having some flexibility and like trying to feel my way through it is better than to have just like a very strict plan in mind to begin with.
Sure. So the one that's really catching my eye behind you, and I believe you have these pictures on your Instagram, so I can pull it up. Is that I hope I'm not making a mistake. Is that the Opera House in Australia?
Yes.
Yeah. So is that on your Instagram?
Yes, it is.
Right, I'm gonna pull this up here real quick because let's see here. I know I had seen that.
It's probably gonna be buried further down.
Okay, and we can go through some of these other ones here too. I just wanted to find that one because that one's the Gotham one. That one that sticks out to me too. But there's the Star Wars helmets, Starry Night, the globe, which is also behind you. There's the Vader. We'll go back to that. It's like I feel like a kid in a candy store over here.
Yeah. How do you feel about colors?
I mean, so Dana, Virginia Bricks, you said, you guys are close. She's such a great person. And then there's a few other people that I've had on here that I told them, and I'm going to tell you this. There are I shouldn't say very few. There are a handful of people that if you are having a horrible day and you're just down in the dumps and you need something to cheer you up, you can go to their Instagram pages and you can see colors and happiness. Yours is one of them. There is just so much color and happiness in all the things that you do here. You can't not smile when you look at this stuff because it's just absolutely incredible. Is this it right here?
Yeah, this is it.
Okay, here we go. Yep. Okay. So this, again, this is part of the architecture line, which if I'm not mistaken, isn't this one of the more rare architecture sets?
So actually this, if we're going to be like technical, this was not an architecture set. It was creator. It was a creator series, but in my head it's like, well, it might as well be architecture. Right. So there were a couple, the old Taj Mahal, the really big one.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that one, like that was also in this creator line. So there was a couple large buildings that were done in the creator line. Okay. And so this was one of them, but in my head, it counted as the architecture line.
Now that you're saying that, now I remember, I can picture the box. I don't know. I was thinking it was architecture, but yeah, I can remember that now. So, so I'm just going to scroll through these pictures here. Cause so run me through this one. So obviously a lot of tan on the base. What was the idea here for the top of this with the colors?
So the top was an piece availability. So that's like an odd piece. Like a lot of those roof parts are odd pieces. So I couldn't necessarily get a lot of them, but I wanted to get a little bit of each just to see and play around with it. Okay. And when I got a variety of them, and then I just started trying to see, like, is there a way, like, from one side, could I have one of every one of the colors? in order. Could I use as many of the colors as possible? And so that kind of became part of the goal. And then like as I went, it was like trying to find what color to pair it with. So and some of those, like there's like dark blue, like big piece, and then I would pair it with like a lighter blue piece that I knew that the other pieces didn't come in, so it would give it something distinct, and then I would match those up and pair them together. So, and then like one side is more organized, and another side is more chaotic, depending on what side you look at it from. And so like, yeah, and so I don't know, like it's that. But like a lot of times once I'm in it, it just becomes more obvious what color to use. Or if like I'm finished like with almost all the sails and there's still one that I haven't used, and it's like, well, now I have to use that one. And so like, I don't know, there's like different things that end up influencing what to pick where.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. I mean, I don't know, it's like every piece has a story. It's not like you're just randomly like, that looks good. You know, like, there's like there is a thought process behind what you're doing here. I mean, obviously, and again, you are limited to colors for pieces as well, but the whole idea is its own concept.
Yeah, it's and I think it is a little bit of both. I think what I've found, especially to do it, is just being open and being flexible, and like allowing yourself to like have an idea, and if it works, go with it. If it doesn't, acknowledge it, and then allow yourself to pivot. Don't get like attached to something. And that allows me to kind of make things work. So there's like a flexibility, but it's also like, this is not what I had in mind when I started. Like it wasn't good. Like I think the one idea I had was I like the idea of thinking about it as a racetrack. So if you look at it from above, those red and white things remind me like a motorcycle race course, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so then I was like, well, I'm going to make it black. So it's like a road. Yeah. You see, and then hence like the kind of like the finish line looking stairs.
Yeah.
And so like that carried me through a lot of that.
Okay.
And then it's going to be a race course. The other one's in the water. And so I was like, well, you know, like, cause it's blue base plates. So it's like, well, I want this to be in the desert and sand. So let's do tan. As an opposite. Right. So like that, like it guided me through some of that, but like the sails and the windows and stuff, that was just kind of feeling out based on what pieces I had and what felt like it worked. Okay.
Nice. That's really cool. Okay, so let's just go down here through I'm gonna go down. I think we got a lot more. How many posts do you have? You must have a lot of posts, don't you?
I do now. Yeah, like originally I'd reposted a lot of the same things initially. But yeah, this is a decent.
I'm just gonna scroll down here through. Oh, that's obviously some DC looking stuff here.
Yep. White House and the Capitol building. Yeah.
Okay, so what is? I'm just gonna pull these up because these are catching my eye again here. So that's obviously the Empire State Building that you showed. The Statue of Liberty. So it's really interesting. These are just like, what do they call those? Like the fairy lights? Is that what they call them, or the sprinkle lights, or whatever?
It's something like that. They're just little tiny LEDs on a big long string that's very thin and easy to get tangled in the knots.
So what was? So I'm just looking here. So this was just something to do like Christmas time. So you decorated the sets with lights. It's what's so crazy to me though is something so simple as putting these white little lights. If you were to put these on the regular set, I don't think it would highlight or accent them like it does here. It kind of plays off like you can see the shadows with the purple up in the top of the Empire State Building. You have the dark purple, then it makes it look like it's light purple. And that itself adds a whole new element to the look of these. Like the black and is that black and white Statue of Liberty on the left? Is that all black and white?
The top is, like the statue itself is. The base is multicolored, but the statue is all black and whites and crazy.
Yeah, it's just crazy what the lights do to that as well. Now, do you find yourself playing with lights any other time, or was this just like a one-off thing?
This was kind of a one-off thing in that regard, because the lighting part of it, lighting is super important. And so like in the photography, that's what I learned from watching my brother-in-law photo things. But like light is so important and it changes things a lot. So like I rely on like the photos to kind of to play with lighting a bit.
Yeah. Okay.
With the exception that one thing that Taylor, my girlfriend, who I would give a shout out, she said something in the chat. I kind of missed some of the chat until now, but she would do a lot with blacklight and blacklight reactive pieces that I thought was super cool. And so we ended up collaborating on just a Milky Way, which I still haven't posted yet, but that put me down a path of trying some blacklight reactive designs. Which I think is really fun because then it becomes another challenge to try to make it look interesting without blacklight and then intentionally look interesting with blacklight. But that's just blacklight reactive pieces instead of putting lighting in. I did get a set that I could add into like one of the Star Wars one of the Marvel helmets, but it I don't know, like it didn't spark like a bunch of like interest or wanted to experiment with it, so I haven't come back to it.
Okay, gotcha. Now this this is interesting. This is one of those oh gosh, why am I drawing a blank? What's the name of this thing?
So this, what's funny is like this was a time when I was like posting about artists that some of my favorites. So I didn't actually build this one. This was Jeff Friesen.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
He's amazing. You probably know his books.
Yeah.
This was that wave when I remember Jason Alleman. He made one of those
Tensegrity. That's it.
Yeah. Tensegrity builds. And this just looks amazing. So
yeah, that's awesome. Somebody in my lug has a smaller. I don't know how big this actually is. So shout out to them for their work here. This looks massive though. I'm sure it's not as big as as it looks scale wise, but I just saw it, caught my eye, and I thought that was really cool.
It's so cool. Yeah.
All right, so let me see. I'm just enjoying, and this is what I'm talking about. You seriously can just go through this page, and everything just makes you giddy and happy. Like you just want to see it all here. I'm gonna go back up to the helmets here real quick, the Star Wars helmets. Because I know you had mentioned those. So let's go up here. So the funny thing about, and we'll just start with the first one here. So funny thing about Star Wars is we always get a lot of complaints. There's a lot of gray, also a lot of black, also a lot of white. So this is your wheelhouse. This is your time to shine. Yeah. So let's hear it. Where do these creations come from? Where you look at the helmets? So obviously this was this a Stormtrooper helmet?
This one is this one's actually the TIE Fighter.
Yep,
TIE Fighter. But the Stormtrooper was the first one I did. That was like and this is really one of the first sets that I ever sold to somebody too. But the Stormtrooper was the gateway because it's all white and it's basically a canvas.
Yep.
I'm not too much into Star Wars, but I'm surrounded and I know tons of people that are. So I get a lot of the passion for it. And so it attracted me because I knew like this is something that I could change and do some wild things with, but people would still immediately recognize that it's a Star Wars helmet or what it was originally, but do a double take and it's a chance to kind of experiment with it. And I'd seen people do a lot of weird things with actual Stormtrooper helmets with paint and whatever. So this it felt like a good fit and I just would get such a strong reaction to them. And since I'm not super attached to Star Wars, it gave me a little bit of freedom where like I don't like with this TIE Fighter helmet, like I think if I was really into Star Wars, I never would have made like a Rastafarian colored one. But because I'm not super attached, like it like kind of naturally flowed into it. And then that way, and then I don't think it's necessarily like offensive to the Star Wars community because it's not like it's like an artistic take on it. You know what I mean? Yep. So yeah,
it's kind of like one of those neat collabs or mashups where somebody takes something like original from a movie series or whatever and then they mash it up, and so that's kind of what it reminds me of. So so is this the original Stormtrooper?
Yeah this was I gave it I gave it a smile because it had like this frown looking thing on it, and it's like, well, what if you flipped it around? So I just thought it looked so silly.
This is great.
So I couldn't help myself. Because then on the actual set, you just have to flip. There's this one piece, you just flip it over, and now it's smiling.
That's funny.
Which I thought was hilarious.
That's funny.
And so, and just made it fun and because like the colors are very, I don't know, friendly and kind of whimsical, I think. But yeah, see, that's what it normally looks like. But yeah.
So again, so you said the white or black or gray, it's a blank canvas. So is there a thought process behind like what colors went into this, or was it more of just like you were messing around with parts you had?
Yeah, so the now, and I'm thinking I probably figured this out when I started this, but anytime I'm going to go into a set and actually try to redo it, the first thing I do is find the part that comes in the fewest amount of colors.
Okay.
And start with that. So I've learned that from a lot of trial and error and a lot of pain, that's the first thing you need to identify, because there's almost always, with every Lego set, there's almost always a part that's kind of new or a part that only comes in a couple colors. And so I start with that and know what that is, and then try to work backwards from there. Like what's around it, what could work with one of these colors. And then that's one part of it. Another part is I also like to just build a draft. What I call my first draft was just take the set and build it again and just use every color combination I can possibly think of. Just like add in lots of different colors and intentionally use everything.
Sure.
And over the course of building it, I'll end up seeing something that looks kind of interesting, a line, a pattern, a shape, or a concept that like, oh, that's cool. I like that. And then I'll run with it from there. But a lot of times just kind of go in blindly and go at it until something kind of pops up as interesting. And then that becomes like the cornerstone of it, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yep. All right. So we're going to go to that. So here is that TIE fighter side by side. Now, I'm just curious about this too. So do you ever get any sort of, I get the sense you're not one that gets much, if at all, any sort of negative comments, but for this particular build, I could see the only negative comment is, oh my gosh, well, I guess you're not taking the pieces. I mean, you still have the pieces, but that's a very rare set and you're doing that to it. But it's not like you're painting the pieces. It's just, just redoing it. But I know some people can get touchy about, those hard to find sets or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like I bought this set when it came out. So I didn't, it was later when I found out just how this set specifically was so crazy. Yeah. Because I have a friend who he has every Star Wars helmet except this one because it's so expensive. But I got it when it came out, so it was just regular price then.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, which is lucky. And the same that I got lucky into that with the architecture line too, like Falling Water and the Roby House. Like those are insanely expensive now.
They are. Yeah,
I got them when they were still selling them, so I never paid an insane price for any of those sets, which is nice. And even the ones that I talked about that were retired, I ended up just building, getting the parts and building the set and not buying the official set. And so, because I can't imagine paying that. It just would, I don't know. It sucked to have to pay that much for it.
And especially I know the Falling Water one, it is nice, but that's a few $100s if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, I think it's it might be like $500 or $600.
Okay, it is. Okay, yeah.
And the parts are so basic, and it's so you're just paying because it's like a collector's item.
Yeah.
But as soon as you cut that seal, and open it, that's it. So the fact that I've already opened it and built it, it doesn't really matter anymore. So yeah.
All right. So Iron Man here. Now I don't ever like to genderize colors or anything like that, but in a sense, there's blue there, but it almost looks like it's the Iron Man, and then maybe Iron. I think Ironheart. I think that's what she goes by, but kind of looks like it could be a male, female, or just whatever here. I like how you change the base of them too, so you don't just stick to that same the black base. You fully redo everything, which I think makes it really cool that you're blending the entire set together.
Yeah, and you end up being able to kind of do some interesting things sometimes with the bases when you do that. But with this one, my first draft was the whole thing. During the draft, it was the pinks and the blue combination that popped out. And then in my head, because they make Iron Man's look so fierce. Yeah. In my head is if I use soft pinks and blues on this, wouldn't that be weird to try to make it still look fierce
Yeah.
and yet be in that color. And so that became my mental challenge of like, how can I make this be all pinks and blues, but still kind of look a little intimidating?
Sure.
And so I found I was really happy with how this turned out. And like the little, like the little lime green that's scattered here breaks up the symmetry to make it feel a little rough and tumble sort of, or like, you know, there's like something a little off that I think helps add to this, like, yeah, it's pink and blues, but it doesn't feel soft. You know what I mean?
Yep. You know, I was going to say this would be one of those good, this could be a nice gift for a baby shower. Yes.
Yeah. You can switch to one of the side. If you can switch to, I don't know if it's in this, like if you scroll through one of the other photos, if you get a side shot,
oh,
like
eyeball, that's interesting. I didn't. Oh man, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, and so that ended up being something because now from the side, this looks like a very different thing, right? And it looks almost like, I don't know, some kind of skull. Like,
oh, that's interesting.
It's a little uncomfortable, and again, it's a way to make the pink and blues not be soft. Right now, it looks, you know. And that was like kind of the idea. I thought it was a challenge of like, how can I do that without it seeming just like a baby shower? You know what I mean?
Man, so, that is interesting. If I want to call my eye literally goes to the eye now.
Right. And it's like it's a completely different thing from the side. And it's, I don't know. I like things like that. To really, so as Iron Man, but now there's like something very different going on here that makes causes a reaction and gets something. I don't know. I find that to be
now. I would say now you can like a backstory. You can build your own backstory with what's going on. So so not only so that's what kind of makes it cool about maybe not having like whatever. I don't know if that's a sticker piece or if that's a printed piece on the Iron Man one. But that kind of gives it a whole new element too. Is that you can look at these sets and be like, oh yeah, that's just a Lego set in different colors. But now you're adding another element to it now where there might be a different piece in there somewhere that could throw it off or could add like a different backstory to it, which really changes things as well.
Yeah, that's that was like for the Princess Leia helmet, that was one of the things that I went for big time. And that's where like sometimes I like to add printed pieces in.
Okay. Yep.
I have the Princess Leia one if you wanted to see it here too.
Oh, you have that? Okay. Yep. Let me hold on, I'm gonna put you up here.
I mean, you can also pull up the image, but yeah, this is the
oh, okay, yep.
The Bosch helmet. The one thing that I really loved about this set, I should have grabbed the original, but is that I always struggled to figure out where the eyes were.
Yeah.
Right. Like I couldn't tell if they were up here or like up here, or maybe even on the sides. And so that was one thing I wanted to do with this was make it also really confusing where the eyes are on this.
Okay.
So I intentionally try to make this kind of like an eyeball, and so you can imagine, well, if this is an eye or this is an eye, but what if the eyes are going through here or right here?
Yep.
Or maybe this is the visor that's going through. And so like every time you see the eyes in a different configuration, it looks different. It feels different. And so this is another example of like just trying to do the base like in a spiral.
Yep.
Was kind of interesting. So
yeah, that's so neat. All right. Let me see if I can find that the Princess Leia one here with the original. We got to talk about this. Is that Carnage?
Carnage, right? I think that one's it's Carnage. Yeah.
All right, we'll go back to that one in a minute. Let me where's Princess Leia here?
It somewhere. Shouldn't be up too much higher. There.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Is this the one that has the comparison, or is that the other one?
I wonder if I stopped doing that here. Oh, that's a bummer.
Let me see here.
The other one.
Here we go. Oh,
but it's a video.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, wait, maybe. No, okay. Yeah, it's just a video.
Sorry. Yeah. It's
that's interesting. That's an interesting idea though too.
I do have the set like right here. I'm gonna go to grab it.
Yep.
Sorry. There we go. So this is the original set.
Okay. Yep.
And like I said, whenever I saw this, I always wondered where the eyes were. Like where do you see out of the helmet?
Yeah.
Like
that's 100% fair.
Right. And so it confused me, but what I liked is that every time I thought it was somewhere, the helmet felt different.
Yeah. Yep.
And so then I was like, well, let me try to play with that idea and make it extra confusing where the eyes are. that was part of my inspiration of that was one of the ideas I incorporated in, was to try to do that. But I did feel bad a little bit, because this helmet is so weird, that I loved it in the Star Wars, because it's got a few colors in it, and it's strange. Where and a lot of the other helmets aren't like that, and so I was like, do I really want to try to redo this one? But I don't know. I was so mesmerized by where are the eyes on this helmet that I had to do something. So
that's definitely. All right, so let me see here. What else did I want to pick on here? We got to do the Vader.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hear the story on this one.
Yeah. So Vader, this was one of my longest running builds. I think at one point this sat for almost a year without me touching it, because I got lost on what to do. So like during the early draft, that like the blues and purples was a feel that I liked, and so I did a lot of it like that, at least the inside of it. But then the outside, I didn't want it to make all the same, and so I tried a couple things, and I had some of these these pinks and reds on the outside, but it just never really landed, and so it just sat forever. And I could not figure out something to do with it. And at one point, I thought about what if I did part of it in black and find a way to divide it, as a way to kind of break it up. And as soon as I started to do that, as soon as I put that black, started to put some, originally it was a straight black line through it. I was like, well, the straight doesn't look right, so let me try to do it a little bit to the side. And then once it became kind of a broken line,
that looks awesome.
Obvious that it needs the contrast of the hot and the cold. And then as I thought about the two sides of Vader and Anakin, afterwards, well, this is the right way to do it, right? I don't know, and so it just it felt like the right thing. But it was a good learning experience for me. It was if you don't have an idea and it doesn't feel right, just you don't have to finish it. Just let it sit. And it sat for a long time until I finally got the right idea, and then it just felt like the right thing.
I was gonna say, I'm getting the Anakin burning on the fire side and the cold heart on the other side.
Yeah, it has because of the character, people connect with it for a variety of reasons. And so it's just the right. It's so I was super happy about it, and the black line ended up looking way cooler than I thought it would. It kind of goes the whole way back, and
Oh, I didn't even. Okay, let me scroll. I didn't realize it went all the way back to. I do really like the black line through. Okay, yeah,
it kind of cuts through and helps divide it up, and
that's really cool.
And then down to the base too. So I don't know, that was
that's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah,
I like that a lot.
Got a lot of reactions from that one.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I mean, because Star Wars in itself is just, that's obviously one of the most popular. But then to do something like that, I mean, that's just a whole new level. All right, I wanted to do. So you had a couple Carnages here. So what were is one Venom?
Yeah, Venom's with a ton, and Carnage is without.
Yeah. Okay. So what was the thought process between those two?
For Venom, so there was there is a color palette, Danco, who does little small mini scale figurines, and he does a lot of really cool builds. He made and I think I have a picture of it. Yeah, right there. If you go back down to the left. Oh, sorry, yeah. In the mid, if you scroll further down to where that middle ship, that little star with the Mandalorian.
Yep.
He built that. And as soon as I saw this, I love that color combination, that dark teal and yellow. And so I saved this post, and it's I'm going to do something with that.
Yeah.
And so I went into with Carnage, which I just love these sets. I just love how fierce they look. And it's just a look that Lego never really does. And so I was so pumped about it. And so I just gave that color palette a shot, and and I gave myself some freedom for some other colors, and that's what led to this. I think the red eyes was the thing that took the longest to figure out, what color did the eyes on this. But that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, these are just I don't know. I mean, they're all so unique in their own way. Now, what is this a edit on? Oh, okay. I said, how'd you get the speckled?
It's a video. I went a little crazy with this video and added all of the sets that I kind of redid. With the Carnage ones.
So cool. Yep. That's really cool. All right. Now, are there any other ones that you would say would be like what would you say some of your like what would be your top sets?
So I mean, Starry Night is like one of my most popular ones. The A-frame cabin that I did last year was one of my more proud ones because I think it was like a bit of a transition into
I think that's
like
up here, right?
more abstract.
Yeah,
That's the A-frame cabin right there.
Yep.
This one was try to keep it abstract and do some interesting things with it. I really enjoyed that. I also have my this mosaic. You can probably find the set, but this one was like my first fully original.
Oh wow,
thing with that wasn't based on a set.
That's crazy.
I mean, it took like a year.
That is really cool. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, I think this is right now probably my most proud one because it's the first thing that I made entirely from scratch. That was like a large.
Yeah. Okay.
That wasn't based on a set. Yeah, I've actually made a progress video of this because it took so long. I tried so many different things here.
Yeah. So is there a story behind this one?
Yeah, I mean, it started. There was I could show. Actually, there's this. I started with this.
Okay.
Which was just like a random. Try to use a bunch of pieces, and make a bunch of random colors and fit together some pieces I thought were interesting.
Sure.
And then that of like, I liked how this looked, and I wanted it to be more cohesive. So I ended up building what's in the center here, which is the same design, just with different colors.
I see now. Yep.
This piece.
Yep.
And this was like a little square, and I tried to make like a frame around it with big plates. It's kind of broken. And then it's started to realize like, well, I could, if you fill those in, like you can make for a really interesting frame. So that's kind of how the idea started. And at one point I had a dream about like these weaving color lines with black and white lines kind of weaving through things. And I wrote it down when I woke up, and I thought that could be an interesting way to frame this. I actually had a drawing on a dry erase board of it first originally and got that in there. Oh,
nice. Yeah.
And then when I put that around this, there ended up being all these pockets of where I could do different things like down here, up here. And so the idea is like, how can I make everything have a different feel while also like, cause I had these 4 colors in here while having like the green kind of splatter out this way, the yellow, the blue, and the red. And then try to make it be more cohesive and interesting in contrast. And so it was just a long trial and error to kind of get something that felt right. So I was filling in a lot of.
You know, the craziest thing about stuff like that is somebody can look at that and be like, oh, he just tossed, and not saying people who are in the Lego community would say this, but oh, he just put a bunch of pieces together and made something like that. Yeah, it's not that easy. There's a story, there's a way that you build it to get all like the different elevations, the styles, the looks, the pieces. And once you know what type of work that takes, that's when the person who didn't build it actually like really truly appreciates that. So like me looking at that, like that to me, that's just something, it's absolutely incredible. And my mind couldn't even start to know where your mind started.
Yeah, I think it's true, and I would say like I get that reaction too, because up until I started doing this work, like if I would see, I don't know if you Jackson Pollock spatter painting, or I'd see abstract art, and I would just be like, I just don't get why this is art. And it's the act of starting to do this stuff that I started to appreciate it, and of like why there's like it becomes a freeing way to express an emotion that you can't put in words.
Sure.
And so you can capture a feeling, and that's what influences these colors. And I can like, I found that when I do this, if I have one kind of music on or another kind of music, I'm going to end up with a different color palette.
Interesting. Like, okay.
If it's daytime, nighttime, if it's like when you can chant, when you're just like, when you're getting into like these abstract or these like this kind of color, like you're like freely trying to choose colors. It's just all about like how you're feeling.
Yeah.
And just embracing that. And so I think that's part of why it's hard. If you like a lot of times if you're thinking about every single decision, every single piece like ahead of time, like you can't you could never get there. At some point you just kind of just like throw things together that feel right. And if you like it, roll with it. If you don't, discard, but kind of being open to it and finding something that way. So it's not random, and you end up like getting some sort of decision things or rules or constraints in place to get there. And that's helped me appreciate someone like Jackson Pollock, because then you can look and see like all these spatter paintings.
Yeah.
But it's the idea of, imagine spending a month on this, right? And now you're standing here with paint and you're going to throw it on something that you spent a month on. Like like you can't take it back.
No,
right? There's like this bravery that I've learned to appreciate, that like once you get into it, like these changes can just like ruin the whole thing.
Oh, sure.
So that's I've learned now. I appreciate it more, but I didn't for a while. So I definitely get why it might seem random, but I if you actually see truly random things, you can tell the difference a bit.
Yep.
So yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna run through this A-frame cabin here real quick. I just want to see the rest of the pictures here. I mean, this is just I don't know, it's just so neat. Like even down to the wood logs on the side, that's all been changed. I love the trees. The trees are just, those are phenomenal. Is that some eyeball pieces in there as well? I see.
Yes. Yeah, the trees were a really interesting battle because I like the idea of, black and white trees, but then when one, you can't get all the trunks in white.
Okay.
So you can do a little bit of them, but not everything. And so I kind of I was stuck with black, mostly black, black tree with the white leaves.
Yeah. Yep.
But then when I made it, I was like, this just looks like snow. Right? It doesn't look. That's what it looked like. For some reason it didn't click in my head that it would look like that, but I made it and it just looks like there's snowy trees.
Yeah.
And it kind of ruined the vibe a little bit because
this
like the building is so kind of abstract and like not real. And I
sure.
don't know, like it's so like it's surrounded by snowy trees kind of wasn't what I was going for. And so I struggled with that. I tried different colored leaves. I tried whatever, a lot of different things, and it just wouldn't work. And then I came back to this, and at one point, I forget why exactly. It was like maybe it was an eyeball piece that I put on there or whatever. But once I started adding little specks of black on this in different shapes, it immediately went into like a completely different feeling, and it didn't look like snow anymore to me. And it's just weird how just adding little black specks on white turns it into something that's not snow, and it just like is interesting to look at.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely incredible. I mean, like I said earlier, it's so neat how somebody designed this set to look like something, and you've designed it to look like it, but completely different. That's what blows my mind the most about these.
Thanks. Yeah, it's like and like the real test is like I think for that one specifically, I got a comment from the guy who designed the original set.
Okay,
calling out that he liked it. It was like, but so getting modifying someone else's art and then them not hating it, I feel not being mad about it is like a huge win for me.
Yeah,
then,
for sure.
It's not like I'm like trying to outdo them or whatever. It's just like I'm taking it in a different direction that they can appreciate, and that's really, I don't know, that was really cool. To see them.
All right, so I will let everybody else come and check out. If you go on Instagram, it's Brick Distorted. That's BRICKDISTORTED. You can come check out all these amazing builds here that you see on the screen. I want to get into one other aspect that you do, and it does pertain to these builds. I'm going to take this off the screen here real quick. Because you actually have, now I got to find it here. You do have your own website, which is brickdistorted.com.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull that one up here. I got to remind myself how to do all this stuff. Let's see here. Yep. Whoops. Yep. Not doing that. Hold on one second here. All right. Let's go to... it is brickdistorted.com. Here we go. All right. So this is your website here. So as you can see, brickdistorted.com. So can you just give everybody an overview? So what goes on here on the website? And obviously there's a link here that says Brick Distorted Shop. So can you just give an overview of what all this aspect of what you do is?
Yeah, so the iOS site where I have been posting and sharing photos of my builds, and just like a bigger way to kind of see them in a little bit different way than Instagram.
Yep.
This is where I link to like my YouTube channel for some of the videos, but
Yep.
it's also it was a spot to tell a little more about me, and I'll give a place where people can reach out if they're interested in any of these and purchasing any of these sets. Which I'm pretty passionate about trying to treat these as art in general, trying to lift and get more and more of the community to view Lego as art.
Sure. Yep.
And not just a toy. And so like for these, I intentionally these are one-of-one sets. I'm never going to make them into, sets that you can buy and put together yourself. Like I want it to treat it as art. And so, and if anybody ever buys these, I'll never make it again. It's just gonna be a one-of-one thing.
Okay.
And so I have them available. And so like that's where you could look at things, and I've sold some of these to people.
Okay.
Which has been great. But yeah, like this, it's a list of all the sets. It's a little out of date in that like there are other sets I've made that I haven't put on here yet, and my improv things aren't fully up to date either. But this is where I will be continuing to post things.
Okay.
And then the shop, that's where I actually am selling prints of some of the things that people like.
Okay. I'm going to bring that up here too. Give me a second. I'm going to get that up here. So the shop, so that's actual prints of the sets that you do make here then, that you can buy in print form.
Yes. Okay. So that they can go on the wall. And thanks, Neely's.
Yep, there we go.
Okay. That's cool. And Taylor's here.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yep.
Great.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, guys.
Yep. She actually had some of these prints up, which is really cool.
Oh, nice. Okay. Really so cool. Now, are they? So if you would buy, so for example, so the Starry Night, so that's a print of the set, and what I'm reading, it comes framed as well.
You can get it framed or not framed.
Okay.
Either way, I like these are. I have some of these prints. The frames ones look great. They're lightweight. It's good quality, and so I made sure that whatever if you buy a framed one or not framed or not framed one, you'll be happy with what you get. I think that's super important to me, and getting them the right size and the right quality so that they're they're striking and interesting and hopefully inspiring.
So I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking at these prints, and I'm just feeling like a gallery. Like I see a gallery here. Like you could have a gallery space and literally put these up. It's really cool. I mean, seeing them as a set is cool, but then seeing it as an actual print really does give you a gallery vibe. Like you're literally going to a gallery and just walking around looking at these.
Thank you.
It's incredible.
I think that's part of where I would love to be at some point, is to have a gallery or be part of a gallery. People can kind of see these things up close or treat it like that on a wall. And that's why I think I wanted to make prints so that you can hang them like that.
Yep.
So yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So again, brickdistorted.com is the website. I'll just push that because there is the link to the shop there. This link's a little bit longer. So brickdistorted.com, you can find the link to the shop. If you want a gallery in your house, you don't need these big expensive paintings. I'd rather have one of these. So if you're looking to fancy your house up, actually your sister, she should promote these in her interior design. She should put these in people's homes.
Yeah. Good luck at convincing her to put something this colorful.
Hey, you know what? You send her my way. I'll convince her to get one of these in somebody's, and you can autograph them too. That makes it even better. So
yes.
All right. So before we wrap up, so you are down close to the Brick Fair convention. Yep. Is that a common convention that you attend? And if so, will you travel to other conventions, or is that like a main one that you would go to?
So it's the closest one to me. So I generally go to all the Brick Fairs. There's been one in Fredericksburg, Virginia every year, and there have been one in Chantilly, Virginia every year. That's the big one. That's kind of like the Brick World scale. Yep. But so I always I'm always of those, although I don't know where the Chantilly one's going to be this year. That apparently I have to move it. So that's I do want to go to other ones in the future. I might go to some just without bringing, because bringing all of this bringing sets is a big commitment. I'd like to go and just meet people and see other things in person. But I mean, eventually I'm going to be going to other ones and branching out.
Sure.
Those are the easiest ones because I can drive to those easily.
Yeah. Now, do you, so let's just say Brick Fair, will you take the prints as well, or would you just always just take the actual sets with you?
I always bring the actual sets. I think there's like this kind of this, the space is limited, and sometimes it's more, I think it's more fun to see the set than the print in person.
Yeah.
And I don't just have space for the prints, but also I think there's like not trying to sell things at Brick Fair, which is kind of like, interactive and talking to people and stuff. So like, it's like I've wanted to, but it's kind of, I don't know, it hasn't felt like completely right.
I get that.
I could bring them and I might do that and like have them like on the ground or around it, or to kind of draw some attention to it, something like that. But yeah, I could definitely, I have some, and I did bring one once, but I haven't brought them to many other shows.
Okay. Now I'm just curious, what would be the biggest scale of a print that you could actually print that without, no pun intended, without distorting it?
Yeah, that's funny. Great word choice. So I think I've like 24 by 36 is pretty big. And I have a couple like that. I think I could go bigger. I would just need to find a place that would sell that size.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the store that I have, like they're I think 24 by 36 is as big as they go. Okay. I think with the I took the images are high enough quality where I could go a bit bigger than that. I just haven't, and then the price becomes now you're getting into a price range that would, I don't know. Now it feels like it's like a painting.
Well, then the framing, all that's next level as well. So yeah, I don't blame you for that.
But I could go bigger. And if people wanted it, I'd be curious about exploring it. But yeah, now, that's where my limitation is.
And then lastly here, I know, so you mentioned something about commissions earlier. Now, do you do, like, if somebody was interested in something, I don't know, taking a set and having it, are we going to use distorted here? Is that the word we're going to use?
Yeah, that's the distorting sets, a distorted version. Like that's the term that I think has been people generally get, and so and it's fun. So I like it.
Yeah. So is that something people can come to you for?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. I just finished a new distorted version of Starry Night for a BAM Bricks and Anything that's opening in New York, and I'll hopefully ship it out very soon. So that they reached out to me, figured out what they were going for, and so I think I probably won't do like any just any set. It kind of like it'll depend, but I'm definitely open to it, and if I get some ideas or we can get on, like I'd love to do that stuff. And so I think I've done like one or two commissions, and I've sold some of my existing sets too. So I'm really open to whatever. It's been, as long as it's something that like I can get into and I feel I get some ideas, then I'm down.
See, my mind went to, because the Death Star, Death Slice, whatever you want to call it, without minifigs is just, it's barren. It's not much to look at. That to me would be absolutely, in my opinion, that would be incredible if you could come up with something to do with that. I mean, that to me, like, I wouldn't even know where to start. I don't even know what you could do with it, but I'm sure you could look at that and you could think of something that would probably even make the back look prettier than what it is.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where I think on my own, because of the size of it, I would like I don't know if I would like necessarily do it on my own, but if someone wanted to like collaborate or commission for me to do something like that, I would probably, it seems like something I'd be interested in tackling for the reasons you talk about. Is like it's big, and with the style that I go at, because I end up making decisions, like there's intentionality involved when you go really big. It's just like a lot of decisions, so it just takes a long time. Like Sydney Opera House, it took a really long time because of just how many decisions I had to make along the way. So it'd be a big undertaking, but I love a challenge. So
that would certainly be a challenge. But the bright side is I don't think it could get any worse than I mean, I'm building one and I like with the minifigs, I think it looks cool, but I don't think from a Lego fan perspective it could be anything less than what was already there. So
yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. Like looking at it again, that you could definitely do because even like how it's all sectioned off, it immediately becomes a thing where you could do each section wildly different. Right.
Well, I was thinking of the frame, like how you had all the branches going and how the colors kind of like, even if you had something, I mean, I know there's a lot of open space in the middle, but I'm sure you could figure out ways to do that. Like even with the Vader helmet, with the lines and everything.
See, look, you already said that you don't even know how to get started. And now you have ideas like that. Like you already got,
it took me 2 hours.
Like, see now that's why I encourage people to do it. Like it gets even intimidating, but I don't know. Like it's similar to like if you had like some things around on your desk and you arrange them in an interesting way, or like you have a bunch of rubber bands and you just tie them together into something, like you're doing something creative there just to kind of like fiddle and play around with it. And really that's like when I'm in the mode of doing this, I'm basically kind of doing that. It's just like I have a lot more, colors and pieces around to do it, but it's like a similar vibe. And so I don't know. I feel like more people could do it. It's just embracing that like weird, goofy doodle mode that you get in sometimes where you're just kind of just playing around with stuff and you're like, this looks kind of fun, but whatever. It's just rubber bands or pens.
Yeah, well, I mean, you never know. One thing leads to the next, and pretty soon you're doing what you're doing. So,
yep, exactly. Yeah,
maybe not as good, but close. So, all right. Anything else you would like to share with everybody? Anything you want to push, promote?
Yeah, I guess a friend of mine, Adnan, who's in Tips and Bricks, and it's like the brown builder, but he also does like a cover art. Him and I came up with the designs for t-shirts that we potentially sell, which I really like.
Nice.
It's like we have an artist that's using these interesting pieces, which I think is really cool.
Yep.
And we're getting a builder that's
nice.
Lego pieces.
Yep.
So and again, in the vein of trying to get people to think of what they're doing as art and not just like Lego or toys, I thought this would be a cool idea. So we've ordered some of these shirts. We might be looking to kind of sell if people are interested in them. So I just wanted to pitch that where those will be coming. So okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're fun and it'd be cool to wear some like I'm an artist. With pride. For Lego. So I think that'd be cool.
So I'm just tossing this out there, and I know you're in a collab, so you have to run things by each other. But I notice a lot of black and white. Mm-hmm. It might be cool if you had a distorted version with color.
It's a great idea, and I can tell you that if people like these shirts, then there will be color ones coming.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Perfect. All right, Nate, really appreciate you stopping by, joining me tonight.
Hey, Keith, you're a great guy, man. So I just really appreciate this. This is such a cool thing that you do. I feel very honored for you to set aside time and to give a platform like this and just be a lot of fun to talk to. So thank you so much for everything you do.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. As are you. And I just want to tell everybody again, if you're having a bad day, go over to Nate's Instagram page, brickdistorted, and just look at the colors, look at the happiness. Seriously, it'll lighten the world. And that's what we need more of. The whole Lego community needs more of what you do by bringing the Lego and the creativity into it and not being so negative on this was that expensive or you did this wrong or that. We don't need any of that. We need more of what you do, which is focusing on the actual product, the fun, the happiness. And so I will always tell people, like I said, there is a bunch of you that if someone's having a bad day, I will refer them to your pages. You are one of them.
Wow. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. So again, Brick Distorted over on Instagram, brickdistorted.com is the website. There also is a link to the shop where you guys can find the prints. of the sets, framed or non-framed. So go check those out. Nate, I'm going to take you off the screen here. I will catch back up with you in a minute, but thank you again for joining.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right. That was Nate, the one and only Brick Distorted. Again, please go check him out on Instagram, as well as his website, brickdistorted.com. He did not ask me to promote anything. This is all me doing this for him because he's a great person and just does amazing work. So please go check that out. Give him a like, give him a follow. He is on YouTube, TikTok. Just go check out anywhere Nate is, or if you're down in the Virginia, DC area, stop by Brick Fair, say hi to him. So with that, that is a wrap on tonight's episode. If you enjoyed watching, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to follow along, and ring that bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming content. Thanks so much again for watching. And please don't forget, if we brick together, we click together.